and welcome back to Focus on Health. I'm Lauren Buck. I'm the Director of Public Health for the City of Revere. And we're here today in the kitchen during the holiday season. I have my wonderful co-host, Hajar. And we're going to do a recipe that you can cook with your family. So Hajar, tell us what we're cooking today.
Hi Lauren, thanks for having me here. We're going to be making healthy holiday pancake for the holiday season.
Yeah, and I know this is a recipe that you make with your family, and we're going to give you a great alternative that you could make for a holiday breakfast or brunch for your family with some healthy ingredients subbed in. So Hajar, I know this is a recipe that you know really well, so why don't we get started? I think you start with your dry ingredients, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
We have 1.5 cup of whole wheat flour. We're gonna add some cinnamon.
So that's 1 teaspoon of cinnamon that we're adding in, and we're gonna be mixing all of these dry ingredients together.
Some salt to balance the sweetness on the ingredient from the bananas.
So that's half a teaspoon of salt.
Baking powder.
So that's 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
And a baking soda.
And that's half a teaspoon of baking soda. And is that all the dry ingredients that we have, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I think you start mixing up the dry ingredients first, right? And so while Hajar is doing that, we're gonna talk to you about one of the little substitutes that we made in this dry ingredients mix. You notice that we talked about whole wheat flour. So this is a great substitute for the regular white flour, the all-purpose flour that's in most pre-made pancake mixes or even recipes for pancakes. Whole wheat flour is a much bigger source of fiber. It has less carbohydrates. It has really great protein in it. So it's a really good substitute to make healthier recipes with any flour ingredient that any recipe that has flour, whole wheat flour is a great substitute.
And whole wheat flour is less carbs than the regular all-purpose white flour.
Yep.
As well as it contains fewer calories than all white-purpose flour.
Yeah, so it's a great substitute, and hopefully no one will notice any difference in taste, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we do next?
So next we're gonna grab our bananas.
Okay, so this is the next part of the recipe where we're kind of combining all of our kind of wet ingredients, right? So you'll notice that Hajar has 2 ripe bananas, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to have them somewhat ripe, not necessarily firm, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that Hajar and I talked about is that when I have bananas that have kind of looks like they've gone bad, that are sitting out on the counter, maybe they have a little, black on the skin, throw them in the freezer, keep them in there, take them out whenever you need them. They're great to use in recipes like this. So that's 2 ripe bananas, right?
2 ripe bananas. And frozen bananas could be used for frozen drinks too, for making smoothies as well. Yeah.
And what are you gonna do with those bananas?
We're gonna smush them with pipe.
Smush them up, great. And so while Hajar is doing that, we're gonna talk to you. So actually the bananas in this recipe are the main sugar component. So you're not gonna see us put any sugar in this recipe, and that's a huge healthy hack to make any recipe that you have still taste sweet, but be a lot healthier. So we know that that adding kind of white sugar into recipes is really not great for you. Bananas are a great source of potassium, vitamin B6. They've got lots of natural good ingredients. So it's a great way to get your recipes sweet, but also stay healthy.
Yeah, it's a great healthy alternative.
Yes. So we're mashing up those bananas. It looks good so far. One of the other things that we want to talk to you all about is that we know the holidays can potentially be a hard time. And so especially this time of year when we're talking about a lot of pressures that are going on, a lot of stress, holiday parties, maybe gift buying and all that kind of stuff. It's really important to take some time for yourself, use some good stress management techniques, things like taking some time for yourself, maybe taking 15 minutes of meditation time, maybe making a budget for yourself, planning out holiday meals, making to-do lists, making lists of things that you need to do over the next couple of weeks, because we know it can get really busy and really stressful. So just take some time for yourself and keep that in mind. And hopefully this recipe is one of the things that you can use to help reduce some stress over the next couple of weeks. All right, so what do we do next with those bananas?
Just want to make sure it's like no big clumps in the bananas.
Okay.
So as to be smooth in the pancake batter.
That's true, right? We don't want it lumpy. We want the pancakes to be very smooth, so you're really mushing them up. That's great. Let me take these away from you over here.
Thank you, Lauren.
And again, that's 2 ripe bananas, normal size. Yeah. Okay, what's next?
We're gonna spice it up with some French vanilla.
Okay, so that is 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract.
We have some oil. Canola.
So that's a third of a cup of oil. Now, does it matter what type of oil?
No, we can even use olive oil too.
Okay. And what specifically did you use today?
I used corn oil today.
Okay. Yeah, but any type, there's lots of different types of oils out there. There's extra virgin olive oil, there's vegetable oil, there's canola oil, so it doesn't matter what type of oil you use. All right.
We're gonna crack those eggs.
So that's two eggs. 2 eggs are going into the big wet ingredient bowl. Wow, good cracking of your eggs. It's a lot of pressure, but you did great. That's always a trick. Everyone does it differently. Everyone cracks their eggs a little differently. All right.
Usually my little one, my son, he's the helper on cracking eggs.
Oh, good. I love that. Yeah.
Take that away.
And we're mixing anything else that goes in there. Does the milk go in?
Sure.
Okay.
I would suggest to use buttermilk instead, but if you don't have it, you can always add 1 tablespoon of vinegar or lime to your milk.
Ah, so that's a great tip. So this is 1 1/4 cup of milk. So that's a great thing that Hajar just mentioned. Typically you can buy buttermilk in the grocery store, but it might be hard to find. And so if you just have a regular milk, you can add, was it vinegar?
Vinegar, yeah,
Okay.
or lime.
Or
you
lime
can use
to the
even
regular
lemon,
milk.
yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Now, do you recommend that people use, if they wanted to use an almond milk or any type of milk?
Yeah, any type of milk will work.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I've used this recipe with almond milk too, and it turned out so good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So now you're mixing all your wet ingredients,
Yes,
right? So
yeah.
you're making sure that the egg yolks are broken, that it looks really smooth, because I think eventually we're going to combine everything together.
Exactly.
Is that
It
right?
doesn't take too much work, you know,
Yeah.
just to make everything smooth. And
Yep.
we're gonna add our dry ingredients.
Yeah, so that's actually a good point. You know, this is a very easy recipe that we hope you can all use, and it's really just about combining everything together.
Exactly. And bringing like the family together in the morning of the holidays will be a
Yeah.
good practice in the morning, prepping like an easy recipe of pancakes, and it's healthy at the same time.
Great. So you can see that our mix is getting really good mixed up in there. That's great. Very good. Now, we're going to be cooking today on a griddle over here. But Hajar, do you have any tips for people who don't have griddles? I know a lot of people probably do not.
Yeah, they can use any sort of pan, non-stick pan. Just make sure you coat it with some butter or oil before, and you preheat it before you use it.
Here, I'll take over while you get that ready. I'm going to keep mixing, and Hajar's going to go get our griddle all set and hot. So that's probably one tip is, you know, obviously if you're cooking with your kids, just make sure to keep everyone safe when you're using the stove or the oven. So this is the consistency that we're looking for this pancake mix. Now, Hajar, how many pancakes does this typically make? Depends on the size that you...
Depends on the size of the pancake, but a pretty good batch of pancake. I mean, we are a family of 4, and it's plenty for us.
Perfect.
Yeah. And Lauren, this time we're gonna make some decoration for the holiday, like pancakes.
That's right. We're very excited.
So it's a good activity for the kids too to be involved.
Right. We're gonna show you how to make these pancakes. We're gonna take them from regular pancakes to holiday pancakes, and we're gonna show you all how to do that. So tell us what you're gonna do to get the griddle ready, Hajar.
I'm gonna coat it with some butter, any type of butter, even oil. You know, just to make sure they don't stick on the pan.
Give the griddle a nice good coating, and you can see that our griddle is ready to go because the butter is kind of bubbling. That's kind of how you tell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it's too hot, just turn it down, start again. If it's not hot enough, just give it a little bit of time. All right, and this is the batter that you need, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Lauren.
So we're gonna make, like I said, these are holiday themed pancakes. So we're not gonna do just a regular pancake. We're gonna try to make them a little special. So walk us through what you're gonna do, Hajar.
So we're trying to make them like snowman and Santa, just for the kids to be more excited for the holidays. So I'm using different size, just measurement cup. You can use anything you have in the kitchen, just for the circles for the snowman.
Great. And hopefully we'll be able to show you kind of like what that looks like. So yeah, a smaller size for the top of the snowman, a bigger size for the bottom. And any way that they turn out looking is really okay.
Yeah.
That looks great. It smells good already.
Thank you. And I think even the cinnamon bring up the spice too and make them, you know, taste like a holiday season too.
And you can see that this batter doesn't really spread a lot, so you can get a lot of pancakes onto your griddle, which is good. And yeah, so you can just know what to expect when you're using this batter at home. That looks great. So Hajar, tell us your tips for how you know when it's ready to start flipping pancakes.
That's a good question, Lauren. When we start seeing the bubbles forming and you can see the edges is starting to get dry, that's the best time to start flipping them.
So these have a little bit to go. So you have 3 circles here. So what are these all going to be for?
That's going to be for the snowman. We're going to use this for the head, the belly, and the bottom side of the body. Yeah.
Yep, and we've got some ingredients over here. Again, healthy ingredients, some fruits that you can use that are still in the grocery stores right now. So you'll be able to find these at any grocery store that you go into to make them even kind of more holiday and more festive. All right, so we're cooking away. So we talked a little bit about budgeting and making sure you have lists for when you're doing family gatherings, shopping for groceries. How do you usually handle that, Hajar? How do you tackle the holidays?
Usually the holiday, I don't stress out. I know the holiday you try to make everybody happy and satisfied, but it doesn't have to be perfect. We can work on a budget and we see, like as Lauren mentioned before, you make your own list and you stay on your budget. You can come up with creative ideas such as like homemade gifts that really means a lot for others, and you know, the main thing is don't stress out yourself and take it easy.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Homemade gifts are great. Even you know, baking and cooking for family, that could be a gift in itself, right? That looks great. Let me get out of your way here.
I'm just gonna use the other one because they're too small for this.
That looks really good, and you can see that we flipped it right at the right time. It's nice and brown, but it isn't burnt. It's looking great. There's another one that also looks great. And once you flipped your pancakes, what are you looking for to make sure you know they're done through? Just kind of a little bit same time?
You see them, they're gonna rise more, so they'll double probably the size. You're gonna see them fluffy, but once we take them off the grill, they're gonna like settle.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very good. And we're gonna flip this last one. Very good. So this is gonna be our snowman. And what other shapes are we gonna make?
We're gonna make Santa.
So these are our 3 snowmen. And Santa's coming up next. All right. So this is gonna be for Santa. That is a big one. So that one's so when you're making these at home, you can choose whatever you want to do. You don't have to do snowmen or Santa. You can
be creative.
Yes. All right, do we want to start getting these on the plate? And I'll keep an eye on this guy.
Sure.
So here's our plate.
I think they're almost ready, Lauren. So I'm gonna give them some time just to be golden.
Okay.
Yeah.
These 2 look pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And while we're waiting for these, let's talk through the ingredients that we have over here. So tell us about this.
Yeah, for the garnishing, I'm using, like, you can use, as Lauren mentioned before, any fruits you have in the fridge. I'm using kiwis today, blueberries, raspberries, and some strawberries.
Great. And while you keep an eye on these, I'm gonna cut up the last of the kiwi here. So we just peeled the skin off of a kiwi. So obviously when you get these kiwis in your grocery store, they're gonna come with a brown skin on them. We took that off. We're going to chop it right down the center. You can use your cutting board. Then we're gonna put it flat on the cutting board and then just make little slices. So I'm gonna finish this up while we wait for these pancakes to get ready. And then we're gonna I'm also gonna start chopping up some strawberries because that's gonna be coming in next.
One of the pancakes is already ready. And once the grill is like glazed with the butter, you don't need to keep adding butter. That's it.
Good tip. Good tip. Yeah, so that's something that I always struggle with. I always am trying to, make sure my pancakes don't burn at home, but you just gotta really make sure the butter's on the first time, and then you should be good to go.
And a good trick too is, like, when you make your batter, you let it sit on the counter for a few minutes before you start on heating your griddle. It will help too. The texture and the fluffiness on the pancake comes way better.
Those look pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I think we can start getting those snowmen off and getting them decorated.
So it depends on the sizes. I used the smallest size up top, the medium size in the middle, and just to shape the snowman. You can use blueberries, strawberries. So for the head, I'm gonna try to fit it on my plate. I'm gonna use some blueberries for the eyes.
Very good. All right.
I have some pretzels as well for the hands.
Great. Already looking like Frosty.
I'm gonna use some chocolate chip for the smileys. I have dark chocolate chips.
Very good. Yeah, dark chocolate chips are again another good healthy substitute. Also, this is, you know, a great way to get fruits into the breakfast for your kiddos or even you.
I'm gonna try to make up a head.
Okay, so this is a strawberry. So we're gonna make kind of little Santa hat or a hat kind of for our snowman. So you're just chopping it. Tell us what you're doing as you do it, Hajar.
Yeah, I'm just shaping it like 2 pieces as a head, taking the sides out and making it like a rectangle shape.
Great. I'm gonna turn off this griddle.
Thank you, Lauren.
I think we're done over here. Very cute. I love it.
Thank you, Lauren.
Okay, anything else for Frosty?
Yes, we have our fat-free whipped cream.
So again, that's another healthy substitute. You can buy whipped cream, many different kinds of whipped cream at the grocery store, but we've chosen a fat-free, which is again a really healthy alternative. So where does that go?
That goes in the bottom of the snow.
There you go, I love it. All right, so we got one. So this is our snowman. I'm gonna give you the next plate. Now what are we doing with these? We're doing Santa with these, right?
Yes.
Okay, show us how to do Santa. We're gonna be chopping the head of the strawberry off, kind of flipping it so it's flat on the cutting board and cutting right down, so you kind of get 2 halves like this.
Thank you, Lauren.
Keep doing that.
And I'm gonna use some strawberries since you're working. I mean,
raspberries,
sorry, for the heads.
Great. So you're making Santa's hat, right?
Yes, and you can can use strawberries. You wanna do yours?
Sure.
Yeah, you can decorate it too.
And we can make a little Santa's beard too, right? Very good.
For Santa's beard, Lauren, I'm using bananas. So I'm gonna.
Let me get those bananas for you. Okay. Should I chop these?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So these don't necessarily have to be ripe bananas like the other ones. These can be fresh. But really, any kind of banana would work. And we're just cutting little slices, right?
Okay. Yep.
All right. Okay, so here's your banana. And obviously if you're, baking with your kiddos or anyone, just make sure everyone does a good wash of their hands first and
of course
is ready to go. So I'm gonna start my Santa with decorating his hat like with strawberries.
Thank you, Lauren, for the bananas.
Oh, I love that. It looks great.
Thank you.
Okay. Very cute. I think your family's gonna love this.
Thank you. And just be creative,
And let's talk about syrup. What do you usually use at home with your family?
Like I prefer organic honey instead of syrup, but there is fat-free syrup that can be used too.
So that's another great healthy substitute. You don't always need to use syrup. You can try seeing if you like your pancakes with honey. Honey is a great a sweetener as well, a natural sweetener. So that's just one more healthy substitute for this recipe. So wow, I think we've got our 2 amazing holiday pancake ideas that you guys can use over the holiday season. I know this is a recipe that you use a lot with your family, so thank you for sharing it. with me and with all of Revere. And we just want to say have a happy and healthy and safe holiday season. And we will see you next time on Focus on Health. Thanks so much.
Happy holiday season. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.